Hello, everyone. My name is Tejashi Vitalkar, and I am creative media lead for uh, cyber harassment support. And welcome to today's discussion on mindless scrolling and its impacts on children. In a world where social media and smartphones are everyday part of our life, we see that the children are spending endless time scrolling through the vast content which is out there and which is impacting their lives. While these platforms can be entertaining or even educational, there's a growing amount of concern where how this short form videos or content is impacting children in their development and social behavior and their overall well-being. To explore this important topic, I am joined by Raman Durad, who is documentation and research lead here at Cyber Harassment Support, who will help us better understand the psychological and developmental effects of excessive screen time among children. Okay. Hello, Raman. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great as well. Thank you for asking. So, Raman, let's start with the basic question here first. What is the mindless or doom scrolling, and why it is particularly harmful for kids?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure everyone has been hearing this word kind of roam around lately, but doom scrolling specifically is when someone just continuously scrolls through content without really intending to. It's kind of just swipe after swipe. It actually creates like a dopamine cycle in the brain, meaning each new video or post gives a small reward that makes you want to keep going. And for kids whose brains are still developing, that constant stimulation can increase anxiety, lower mood, and making it harder to stop to finally break that cycle.
Okay, so basically, they just get addicted to it and they cannot stop. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's also harder just to even catch that you are addicted to it or that you are doing it because of how mindless and subconscious that it eventually becomes.
Oh, wow. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
And so, what is child adultification? How social media is contributing to it?
Yeah, so that's a little bit of a newer word that even I had to get used to and research a little bit on. But it's really specific in the sense that it's child adultification is when kids are pushed either directly or indirectly to think, act, or present themselves like adults before they're developmentally ready. And social media specifically contributes to this by exposing children to adult language, even beauty standards, especially for females, lifestyles, and behaviors. And when kids constantly see and imitate adult content, it kind of blurs the line between adulthood and childhood, and it can take away the space that they need to just be kids.
Oh, right. I mean, it just plays with their mind and they don't know how to process that information because it's new for them and something that they cannot understand, basically.
Yeah. And it's hard, I feel, even for adults to kind of pick on what is adult content versus what is kid-friendly content. I think we used to think of it as two separate concepts, but it's kind of meshing together now, especially with the ages being lowered for how kids can access these social media platforms.
Right. I mean, I was thinking, and I heard this theory or studies going on that the kids are hitting puberty really early these ages because of all the exposures that they are having. So, which is very dangerous. I mean, so yeah, I mean that is something to be concerned and look for rectifying.
Yeah, that mature content.
Yeah. Thank you for answering that, Raman. And what are the short form platforms like TikTok, especially concerning for children?
Yeah, so I think definitely when you think of doom scrolling, you definitely pair that big social media platform like TikTok. And it's especially concerning because they rely on very short, these fast-paced videos that are constantly stimulating the brain. And especially for children who are still developing attention control, that rapid, endless content can shorten attention spans and expose them to adult ideas very quickly. So it combines that child adultification concept, but also that doom scrolling concept where the attention control is actually compromised.
Right. I mean, I totally agree with you. I mean, with even adults, often we find ourselves looking on short videos when we are
Mhm.
trying to focus on our work, and the mobile just pings with the notification, and you just, pick up the mobile as soon as that pings, and you start scrolling, and then you just start scrolling continuously without even
Yeah,
realizing it, how much time you spend.
yeah,
So
and I think
with
it's
kids, that's of course much more impactful. That is true.
yeah,
Yeah,
especially just it's just so accessible. It's like right at the like at our fingertips, and whether the, especially with school, because I know school their phones allowed in school, and that also takes away from like your social interaction aspect too, because it's just easier to engage with an app.
correct. Absolutely. And how does this excessive screen time affect the language and the cognitive development in young children?
Yeah, so as I kind of touched on it before about like the social skills. So these young children build social skills through real life interaction. That's talking, playing, and engaging with adults. But when you
Right.
have these apps or any sort of screen time, it replaces those interactions. And that also hinders the chance to practice language and social skills. And over time, excessive screen use has been linked to actually weaker vocabulary development and difficulties with focus and executive functioning. And I think that is these are concrete skills that you learn through every day, whether it's you don't even learn half of these skills through academic work, but it's all these like real life interactions that build these social skills up over time.
That is true. I mean, even because these days kids are playing the video games and all, that they're
Hmm.
living in the virtual world. So they don't, sometimes I've heard that kids, walk in their sleep and just try to open a virtual thing or virtual tab. I
Yeah.
doing something weird, and that is really scary as a parent myself.
Hmm.
So yeah, you're absolutely right there.
Yeah.
Um, and how does constant scrolling impact the children's emotional regulation and attention span?
Yeah, so first we touched on like the social skills and impact, social impact, but when it comes to the emotional regulation and attention span, children are still developing the parts of the brain responsible for emotional regulation, impulse control, and sustained attention, and that's why this is so concerning. And then you bring in constant scrolling, and that trains the brain to expect instant gratification, just like that reward. And over time, this can reduce patience, increase emotional reactivity, and make boredom harder to tolerate and weaken the ability to focus on longer tasks. And I think we've definitely all heard of stories about the relationship that children have with their iPads or any types of screen. It's hard to kind of intervene as whether you're a guardian or just someone that's or even in school settings and well in educational institutions we definitely have seen like an increase in the emotional reactivity when that is taken away.
Right, exactly. And I was other day I was going through some videos, of course, and I heard a term called uh, social media autism or digital autism, something like that.
Hmm.
And that's what the doctor was explaining about the effects of social media or scrolling, and they're impacting the children, and they are behaving autistic. They are not born autistic.
Yeah.
The excessive screen time they're using, that's they're going in that direction, so which is really scary.
Yeah, I actually work with kids on the spectrum, and definitely you see these neurotypical kids imitating those same behaviors. If you just from some examples could be making the video up speed 2 times versus a normal one because that attention span isn't there, so they can't focus on videos at that normal rate. They have to go to the 2 times speed, which is very typical with kids on the spectrum. That and also just scrolling, even on YouTube, just going video after video, and there's no actual like end goal. It's not the end goal of watching the video because they want the stimulation from the videos or anything like that. It's just that instant gratification because it goes up and it dies down so quickly. It's a pretty negative feedback cycle.
Right. They don't want to be bored.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. And are there certain apps that are designed in a way to keep them captivated or hooked in the screen?
Yeah, so I think like this is pretty like general knowledge too, but like definitely when I
Yeah.
talk about TikTok, the social media apps are like designed intentionally to maximize engagement, and I will say they do an amazing job of installing these little features that keeps children hooked because they even keep adults hooked too. So I'm talking like these short video lengths, the infinite scrolling, like it doesn't end. The like buttons actually provide instant gratification even as a viewer, not just as someone that's making the video. It's as a viewer that liking when you just see that heart appear and it provides like a different color. It's a different sense of stimulation as well. Like it's a sensory input. And also these
They're like hooked to the colors and
yeah,
the bright colors that they appear on the screen, and they get addicted to that.
yeah, it's really, I think even we get a little bit, whenever you send a text message to, if you say happy birthday, especially like on just kind of going off topic here, but on iMessage on the Apple phones, if you say happy birthday, you get a bunch of balloons. And obviously like that, even as adults, it like provides that gratification. And then it kind of goes, that reward goes away within seconds later.
Right.
So we see that. Yeah.
Yes, I have. And I was really fascinated with the idea, but I didn't go very much deep into it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one is like these algorithmic recommendations. And then we can even see that like even across these meta platforms like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, that's really something that's common because the way that it's read is that it's going to tailor the content to us. And why wouldn't it? That is something that we want to keep looking forward to. So altogether, these features act as positive reinforcement, encouraging the habitual use. And this like instant feedback loop, especially through the like strengthens that repeated behavior. I think it's your typical like conditioning behaviors that you have here, whether that's with, and we saw it in our textbooks reading it with just positive reinforcement when it comes to toys, but I think this is like a totally different capacity now that it's hard to kind of maintain as well. So the design itself makes doom scrolling so easy.
Yes, and the thing is that there's always a next video suggestion waiting right there for you, ready to click on. Whenever you finish this video, you will definitely be taken to that video directly, or they'll just, and you will click on the video. They will design the feature like that. The kid will go and click on that other video. That is true. Yeah.
Yeah, everywhere we go.
Yeah, that's true. And so what other roles do parents play in shaping their child's screen habits?
Yeah, so we talked a lot about like the children's behaviors, but obviously children are overlooked by guardians, so this plays a huge role in shaping children's screen habits. And kids often mirror what they see at home, not even just with screen time, but just with everything. So if devices are used constantly or excessively, children are more likely to binge watch or scroll for long periods, especially when unsupervised. And this matters so much because screen time has been linked to things like social anxiety, depression, and behavioral issues. And I think you touched on imitating like kids on the spectrum's behavior, even if they're neurotypical. And I think we definitely see that overlap with the social anxiety or even general anxiety as well. So I think that's why it's so important to model healthy screen habits. It's just as important as setting limits. Kids need to see how to use devices in a balanced way.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe you can use some tools. I don't know if there are any tools available on the market that can reduce their screen time or maybe shut it off after some time. I don't know about that. I haven't explored it. But probably in future I might have to, because my kid is growing up, so he will eventually want to watch more screen. And so you'll have to come up with some kind of ideas to limit that. Definitely
some parental controls. For sure.
Yeah. And what are the practical steps can family take to reduce our harmful screen use?
Yeah, so the idea is not to limit that relationship that kids have with screen times, because that's just like simply impractical, because we rely so much on our phones as well. So the idea is to have like a healthier relationship with screens. And I would probably start off with encouraging interactive play to foster those social skills, and anything that gets parents and kids engaging together rather than just watching TV passively, because you're not really interacting that way. And you can also make screen breaks fun, like I did when I was doing my research on this, there was a TV turn off challenge. And basically it's just like, how long can you turn the TV off for? And then your positive reinforcement would be whatever you choose it to be. And I touched on parental controls. I think this is the one that's often most accessible to do. And that's like setting time limits, adjusting device settings, or even using password protections. And that can help manage the screen use. I just think it's also important to teach kids to reflect on their screen habits. Especially for older kids, I would say like maybe around middle school or high school, when they're scrolling, and think about how it makes them feel. Because and I also think that even applies to adults as well. We don't really take the time to reflect on why we're scrolling, what goal are we trying to reach, or how it's making us feel. And if we do that, then maybe we can take the time to replace that with some meaningful activities. And especially, I think the biggest thing that has been kind of going extinct, especially with adults, is just plain hobbies, whether that's, baking or doing something for yourself. I think that would just it just starts off with that. And also, breaking your tasks into manageable chunks, like quick to do items, longer term projects, so that way that you can replace the doom scrolling. And maybe the doom scrolling has caused shorter attention spans. So that's why breaking tasks into manageable chunks can also help, see it more tolerable. And as I said, I'll just say it again, that the idea isn't to eliminate screens completely, but it's to help children build a more, sustainable, healthier relationship with them.
Right. So basically, what a parent needs to do is, keep their screen time aside and really engage with the kids, and do something together, something creative, maybe read books together, or tell stories, or something that a parent and a kid can involve in one activity, and that will keep both of them away from the screen for some time. Yes. I mean, for example, my kid goes to the daycare, and of course they don't show any screen to them, but they do have a lot of activities planned for their day, so that they won't get bored, and they will keep them entertained as well. And they won't remember that, I have to watch the screen or some kind of a video. So that's kind of a activity probably we have to implement at our homes as well.
Yeah, and I think that it's also just like speaking of adults, I think we just don't think that we can do it. But I think once you do realize, even if you spend like maybe an hour a day not checking your phone, you realize you can't do it. It is manageable. So then if you reflect that and project that onto your children, and children are so easy, they're so resilient, they adapt to everything, that and you can, if you have that engagement with them, they'll be fine.
Yeah, so you have to set the example in front of them that, hey, I'm not watching screen. I have kept my phone aside, and I'm playing with you, or we're reading book, or I'm reading book. So they will probably imitate what you're doing, and they won't ask for screen.
I think I think it's also like screen time, it has become like it's a great thing to having the access to all these platforms, all this advanced technology, especially with kids that have a hard time communicating. I think you can use a text chat on your children's iPad to foster that communication. So it does, and you see all these educational videos out there too. So there is obviously like another side to it, but then again, it comes back to the idea of just like balancing that relationship between the screen time and the children's behaviors, because the last thing you want is just, these developmental delays in your children.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
And especially in today's world where there's the technology everywhere, and the screens are everywhere. There's a big TV. There's so many laptops at home, the office laptop, the home laptop, this and that, plus the iPad and phones. So to get them away from all these things, it's really become difficult and challenging for parents. So the parents need to be more creative with the time that they are spending with the kid, and how they can manage to keep them away from the screen as much as they can.
Yeah, and it's like I can imagine that it is really hard for parents to set aside that time. And then, especially like multiple kids in a household, even if you have like an hour every day, even that takes a lot too. So it is like, and then at the same time, it's also so easy for children to access like mature and that adult content. And yeah, you have like these ratings and that blocks kids from viewing some adult content, but it's actually just really easy to maneuver around that so that kids can access that, because kids are very smart. They're able to do that without sometimes they'll ask you to verify your age, but you just have to put in a legal age, and then there you have it. Like, you are exposed to all this adult content. I think that's like also really scary too. It's kind of robbing kids of their childhood.
Right. I mean, absolutely. So definitely these are some point to be considering, to get in consideration. And plan and plan your time, plan the activity, or just have some limitation or strictness in the screen time that you give to your kid. And of course, keep a really close watch that what they are watching, what content they are consuming. Are they accidentally going to some video they are not supposed to see? So that is, I mean, you have to be watchful these days, and put some kids filters or something if the app has that. And so yeah, these are the kind of questions probably we are looking to implement in our day-to-day life if we want to protect our kid from the doom scrolling and the adulting, watching adult content and all. So definitely, thank you so much, Raman, for the insights that you gave us.
Of course.
And it was a lovely conversation with you. And I hope that whoever is watching this video will have some great inputs from themselves, and they might have got some pointers as well. And they'll benefit from it greatly. So yes, so thank you so much, and probably we'll be doing another video on something else, a different topic.
I would love it.
We'll talk soon. Okay, thank you so much, Raman,
Thank you so much
you have a great day. Thank you.
You as well. Thank you.